Well, welcome back to another coffee and a chat, and we might have some outside noises coming in today because we've got windows open. The breeze feels good. Oh, it's wonderful. Get some fresh air blowing through the house. I've got so many things I want to talk to you guys about, but I can only talk to you about one at a time because it's overwhelming otherwise. So I want to talk to you about sore toes just for a minute, okay? Are you busy right now? You got a few minutes that we can sit and talk about this? I was just talking with a friend, and we were talking about some stuff, and this thing came out that just like, I was like going, oh, that's amazing. And I want to share it with everybody because I just kind of saw things in a very simple but new way other than how I've looked before. So you know how we all have something that we're sensitive about, it's like that one thing, if somebody brings it up or something, or they point it out, they always are going to have that tendency to talk about something you just don't really want to hear. That one person, that they don't have a filter and they just kind of say whatever comes into their head. Well, I guarantee it's going to be about something that's probably going to hurt your feelings. It's bound to happen, especially when the enemy's trying to discourage you. And I think my friend, I think that she experienced a little spiritual attack the other day, and I think that's all that it was. So, somebody, was talking to her, and all they could talk about was this one thing that was hurting her heart. So it's like I told her about, I'm not always like this really bold, outgoing person, but I've had my moments, okay, where, I've stood up for myself or whatever. It doesn't always work out well for me. But anyhow, I used to be very, very morbidly obese, like over 300 pounds obese. And it wasn't because I wanted to be. I did all the diets, all the gimmicks, and everything always made me gain more weight. And I was terrified I was going to end up at 500 pounds. And I mean, this is like, it was a huge deal to me. And I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And little did I know, I actually had a problem, a physical problem that was causing me to keep putting on weight. But I didn't know that. I just kept thinking I'm just not doing the right diet, or I'm not doing something right. And I would starve myself. Eat nothing but just drink water, and I would gain weight. And I've heard other people say that, and people going, oh, that can't be right. Yeah, I get it. I'm like, yeah, I know. Been there. So this one time, this doctor that I had, and I loved my doctor. He was a wonderful Christian man, but I don't know. I think I just been going through it because people always, when you're overweight, they always just out of love want to try and help you. Like they need to let you know you need to lose weight. Like you don't know that. And I did have an aunt that didn't know that once. I think I already told that story where the doctor told her she was overweight and made her get naked in front of the mirror to see because she didn't think she was, and she was very overweight. But anyhow, that's another story. I think I've already told it. I may tell it again someday, but I'm just going to tell you what I did. So I was at my doctor, and as usual, and I think I'd been having people, my loving mother, oh, honey, you've been putting on a few more pounds. You really need to do something about that. Okay, Mom, I know, I'm trying. Well, have you tried this diet? Yeah, I gained 7 pounds in the first 3 days on that one. So I quit that diet. And well, maybe you needed to just stick with it. What, until I gained 25? It wasn't working. And, and your friends and, and the ones that aren't your friends. And, people are always wanting to tell you this. Well, I think I'd been going through a lot of that and was just kind of fed up with it. And so I was at my doctor's, and, we went through the stuff, and, and he's like, well, basically you're very healthy. There's really no issues here, but you do need to lose weight. I snapped. I'm so embarrassed, but I snapped. And I turned on, I said, look, I know I need to lose weight.
Okay? I live and breathe all day long trying to figure out how to lose weight. I'm not sitting around pigging out trying to be fat. I don't go home and say, hey, I think I'll eat a whole cake so I can put on a few more pounds. I don't even eat the cake. I'm avoiding everything. And I kind of went into a little rampage. And then I was like, unless you've got a magic pill or the secret or a miracle or something that's going to fix this, I don't want you to ever say to me again that I need to lose weight, because I know I do. So unless you can fix the problem, I don't want to talk to you about it anymore. Yeah, my poor doctor was like, okay. And he didn't bring it up anymore. So I eventually got to a specialist who was able to help me. And so he sat down with me after, we got all the little tests and doing everything. And he's just like, okay, I'm going to start with this. It's not your fault. I burst into tears because it was always my fault. And he goes, you have a metabolism issue. And he goes, so how young were you when you started dieting? Well, when I was 7, my grandmother started teaching me how to diet so I wouldn't become an obese adult. I was not an overweight child, but, just in case, because that was if you knew my grandma, you'd understand. And so, and he goes, yeah, and so tell me about these diets. And he goes, no, let me tell you, you did this, and he started telling me. I'm like, yeah, that's what she had me doing. And he goes, and that's kind of your mindset and what you're always trying to do. Yeah. And he goes, okay, children are not supposed to be starving and stuff, they're supposed to eat healthy and get their nutrition and everything. So anyway, he said, he goes, you've been dieting and doing the yo-yo thing. And I go, I don't think I do the yo-yo thing. Like, I don't try to gain weight and then lose weight or, I didn't understand. He goes, no, your body is doing the yo-yo. It goes up, it goes, and, then you get it to go down and then it goes up a little more than what it was before. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It's climbing. And so he goes, yeah. And so he goes, so here, he goes, I'm going to help you. And he did. And he taught me some things about my body. And I don't go around. Now, I used to, because, when you lose a bunch of weight, because I lost 130 pounds in 11 months. And, and you've got people that are, they want to know. I mean, isn't that most of us, so how are you doing it? What happened and stuff. And so I was very open about it in the beginning. I'm not so much anymore, because what I've learned is we're all different and we all need to figure out what goes with us. Now, I still struggle with my weight because it has everything to do with what I put into my body and what my body can handle and how it handles it. And I can't honestly afford to eat that way. Plus, being able to find real clean food, especially meat, is getting almost impossible. So I battle my weight, nowhere near what I used to be, but it's still an ongoing battle. And I don't know that it's a real sore toe for me anymore, because I just know it is what it is, and I have a husband who loves me no matter what. And so I just try to be as healthy as I can and do the best I can with what I've got. But back in those days, that was a sore toe for me. And so it was a guarantee that that's what somebody would bring up, and so whatever your sore toe might be. I mean, I know there was another time when I was feeling really insecure about my house. And so, of course, some woman who'd never even been to my house, a gal that I was doing some work for, she looked at me one day and said, I bet you're a terrible housekeeper. Your house is probably just disgusting. Well, usually it was clean. Well, it was just a small apartment, and usually it was clean, but, I was working and stuff, and it had gotten away from me, and so I was feeling a little sensitive about it. So, of course, that, and it's like, why would you even say that? And here's the thing, and this is what I was trying to tell my friend, is there, the Bible says that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. The people aren't really the issue, but we're wrestling against spiritual powers and principalities and forces of darkness, and however it says it, because I'm not reading it in front of me, so I'm going to quote it wrong. So go look it up and get it right. But, I said, there are spirits behind this, and there are some people that are very easy for them to manipulate. And of course they're going to be like, oh, you should mention how dirty her house is. Yeah.
you should, it'll be helping her. And so, that thing we're sensitive to, I call it the sore toe. Because if you've got a sore toe, like I have a sore toe right now. And so the dogs always, I have 10 toes, but they only step on the one. And like my grown dogs, they're heavy. And so when they step on your toe, they've stepped on it. And that's what I said to her. I said, that's the enemy coming in there trying to mess with us, using people, because now look how it's ruining, it's just ruining everything for you. You don't think you're good at anything because of this one little thing that they brought up. And of course, it's the thing that you're really, sensitive about. It's the thing that is very tender on your heart. And, and so when we're talking, I go, I figure, when somebody says something, first I have to go, well, is there some truth to what they're saying? Because if there is, she goes, then it's an opportunity to grow. I go, yeah, it's an opportunity to grow. And so, they step on the sore toe. So I can either spend the next week crying about my sore toe and how much it hurts and being miserable and feeling like a failure, or maybe I should just heal the toe. And it was like, oh my word, heal the toe. You guys, why do we just keep walking around with this? Now, look, my weight, even now, it's still an issue because like I said, I can't eat the way I need to eat, so that, because when I eat the way I'm supposed to eat, which is very dependent on specific foods, and they've got to be clean with no chemicals or anything like that, which is, or genetically modified or bioengineered, that don't work for me, okay? So to even be able to find the food is one thing, but to afford it is quite another. So I've got to work with what I've got. And so I'm trying to heal that toe. I don't want it to be a sensitive issue, and I want to be as healthy as I can. So I've just been asking the Lord to actually just make changes in me in every area of my life. If there's things in my habits that need to change, if there's things in my body that need to change, things in the way I think that need to change, things in my spirit that need to change, whatever, because he knows exactly. See, he made this body and he knows it intimately, and has from before it was even formed. He intimately knew all my ways, and he still does. So he knows what needs to take place. So I need him to do for me what I can't do for myself, because he's got all the wisdom and all the knowledge on it. So, I'm trying to work with God on this, and I am seeing results, by just relying on him, because he's my resource and what he provides for me, and having wisdom that, you don't put that in your mouth, or definitely put that, I purify my water. I don't drink out of water bottles. Somebody the other night said, oh, you Mother Earth or something. But yeah, I believe in trying to be back to as close as we can be with the things of God, the way he created it. However, the world at large does not seem to agree with that concept and thinks that maybe we can improve on what God did. Yeah, that's never going to work out. So God is my resource, and I'm going to him. But the thing is, the main thing is, when you get that sore toe stepped on, and you will, whatever your sore toe may be, in any given day, if you've got a sore toe, that's what's going to get stepped on. So we can jump around and cry and scream and let it ruin our day, and woe is me, which doesn't really accomplish anything. Or we can say, okay, I think it's time to heal the toe. So today, if you understand what I'm saying, if you get it, then I hope you begin to heal the toe, whatever that means. If it's a habit that needs to be changed, if it's something that needs to be done differently or whatever, instead of walking around with all these things that we're sensitive about, heal the toe. And sometimes, let me say, sometimes there's things about us that maybe we can't change, that it may just be who we are. I went to high school with a girl that had a very strange nose. It's the nose she was born with. And there was nothing. And back then, there were some people that did plastic surgery when we were in high school, but, that wasn't a very common thing like it is today. But anyhow, she was very sensitive about that nose. She was a beautiful girl, and then there was the nose. And people always seemed to think that they needed to tell her that her nose didn't fit her face or whatever. Why do we do that to each other? You think she doesn't know? She knows. It was her sore toe. And she would get her feelings hurt all the time. In fact, in my mind, I can still remember her name because I used to feel so bad for her, because anytime we were in a discussion, you knew it's just a matter of a moment before somebody's going to have to say something about her nose and crush her. Well, she was in some kind of an accident. I don't remember if it was a car accident or what, but she was out of school for a long time. When she came back, we didn't know it was her, because what happened in the accident, this was her blessing. In the accident, her nose was broken. And so when they went to fix her nose, the doctor fixed her nose and removed the excess that didn't need to be there, that was creating this odd look to her nose, and just made it a normal nose. And then, then she was drop dead gorgeous, and we were all jealous of her. But, that was her blessing in it. But some people, there may be something, that you deal with. Well, I have deformed feet. I'll just tell you that right now. Nobody's allowed to look at my feet because I don't want to hear about it, because they are weird. My mom used to, because they didn't used to be that way, but they've become that way in the last few years. And my mom, the first time she saw them, was like, oh my word, what has happened to your feet? Because I used to have cute feet. I probably liked my feet better than any other part of my body, because they were cute. My toes were just nice and, a nice curve to them. Didn't have that one toe that stuck out longer or anything. And now, oh my word, everything goes the wrong direction, and it's a mess. And, and I do what I can for them, but I'm kind of stuck with them. I don't know that there is anything I can do that would fix them so they're not deformed anymore. But I don't have to let it bother me. It's like, maybe it's my weight now that, somebody says something about it. Yeah, I know I'm overweight. I'm always working on it. I'm trying to be as healthy as I can. It is what it is, but it doesn't hurt me like it used to. So sometimes healing the toe is healing those emotional struggles and those old wounds that are in us that are connected to it, because some things just are what they are. And you've got to, we're always told just love ourselves the way we are. Well, sometimes that's easier to say than it is to do. And it does help, I will say, having a husband that just loves me the way I am. I had somebody in an email talk about what a blessing that is, that I have a husband that is that way. And if they ever marry, they're hoping to have a husband that will love them just the way they are too. And you know what? I want that for you too. I want that for everybody. I think it's ridiculous when we're trying to, when we have to change ourselves to be good enough for somebody. No, then that person's not good enough for us, because there's somebody out there for everybody, somebody who will love you just for who you are and not expect you to be something else or become something else. If somebody thinks you need to change to be good enough for them, they're not good enough for you. So maybe sometimes healing the sore toe is healing our mind, healing our emotions, our, what's really bothering us about it. Because it just is what it is. I don't care how much you weigh. Somebody weighs more and somebody else weighs less. I don't care how big your nose is. Somebody else's nose is bigger and somebody else's is smaller. I don't care how poor you are. Somebody else is going to be even more poor. I don't care how ugly your car is. Somebody has an uglier car. My grandmother used to tell me that if you look long enough, you're really just average. No matter what it is you're dealing with, you're really just average. There's enough people worse and enough people better. You'll always be in the middle. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. So sometimes healing the sore toe is healing our mind. It's healing our emotions. It's getting a right thought. And the best I can say, because there's no blanket answer to how to do that, because every situation is different. And I was a counselor, a Christian counselor, for a lot of years. And, people wanted me to just have the answer. Well, you know what? I don't necessarily have the answer. I'll try to help you find your answer. But the one thing that is a constant, because you could have 10 people all with the same problem, but the solution is not going to be the same for all 10 of them, okay? But what is the constant there? What is going to help them find their healing and their solution is Jesus Christ. I know you're shocked that that's my answer, but it's true. Only God can fix, can heal, can mend, can restore some things. Only God. So I, in my own personal life, have had my best results when I've gone to Him and asked for His help. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, I've done the best that I can do. Now I need you to do for me what I can't do for myself. And you know, He's never turned me away. And He won't turn you away. Doesn't mean that everything's going to be there all instantaneous. Nope. Sometimes it takes time. But He is the answer, and He is your hope. All right. Heal the sore toe, guys. Instead of letting it just be a sore toe getting stepped on all the time, let's heal it. Okay? I love you guys, and I've been getting some great responses on my last video. So I'm toying with the idea of doing survival Saturdays and doing a video, if I can get one up each Saturday, that will have one of my things of how I save money, or how I make things stretch, or how I've found something I can use instead of something else, or whatever. The natural things that, remedies and stuff that I use. Yeah, all of that. So I'm even making notes here of what people are asking for. I've got some Ask Angie videos coming out on some other subjects. And so I'm excited about it. So please be praying for me, because it's a matter right now, this time of year, and the things that are going on in my life. It is a matter of finding the time to be able to put the videos together and do what I need to do on that, because this is a crazy time of year for me. And I haven't been on YouTube for a full year yet, so I'm finding out how it is trying to maneuver during and through the different seasons. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go. I love you. I can't wait to talk to you again. So we'll talk real soon on whatever comes next, okay? Love you guys. Bye.